Welcome back, welcome back. This is Nicardo Media House. The Concacaf Gold Cup group stage has come to an end. We finally get to be at the business part, the most excited part of a tournament, the knockout stage. There's only 8 teams leaves. That game last night again, Guatemala and Guadeloupe, it was really, really interesting game. Guatemala came back twice, to beat Guadeloupe. They topped the zone with 7 points. Canada came out on second in that group. They beat Cuba. You know, a lot of interesting stuff. But yeah, 8 teams leaves. Guatemala play Jamaica. US play Canada. Mexico play Costa Rica. And Panama play Qatar. The knockout stage is gonna take part on Saturday and Sunday, so 2 days of doubleheader. The first one is in Arlington, Texas. Where Panama played Qatar at 7:30 or 7, I think 7 o'clock Eastern time. And the second game is the big one of the day, Mexico versus Costa Rica at 9:30 Eastern time. I don't understand why Mexican, they get all their games, like not really all, but most of their games on the West Coast. California is there, Texas is there, right close to the border of Mexico. So had a huge fan base, but it doesn't really matter where Mexico go in the country. They get a huge support. Their fan base is huge. They're more comfortable supporting their team on the West Coast. You know, so I don't understand why they always get most of their games, the important games, on the West Coast. You see game last night, Guatemala played Guadeloupe in Harrison, New Jersey, in the Red Bull Stadium. That game almost sold out. Guatemalan fans filled the stadium, like 95, 96% of fans in that stadium are Guatemalan fans. And I don't get it. Jamaican can't get a game somewhere in Florida, somewhere by Northeast, Philly, New York, anywhere on in the tri-state or in Florida or even Atlanta. We just can't get a game. Where we got mostly like most populated Jamaican areas. Where the people in the diaspora can support their team and stuff like that. But yeah, the business part of the tournament. Jamaica played Guatemala on Sunday at 5 p.m. The US played Canada at 7:30. Those games played in Ohio in Cincinnati. So it's gonna be a huge weekend in the Gold Cup this weekend coming up. So I'm looking forward for it, man. I'm really excited. But the group ends like in Group A, USA finish on top spot. Jamaica came in the second spot. Group B, Mexico finished in the first spot. Qatar finished in the second spot. And Group C, you have Panama top the zone. Costa Rica came in the second spot. Group D, you have Guatemala finish on first in the first spot, and Canada finished in the second spot. So that's how all the groups close out. You know, it's really, really interesting. But moving on, Jamaica versus Guatemala. That's the first game I'm gonna talk about. But it's gonna be a really interesting game. Jamaica, we can't make no mistakes in this game. All these chances that we're creating, we're gonna have to put our chances away. There's no room for error. This is the knockout round. This is the business part of the tournament. So big players, Antonio, Gray, Bailey, everyone has to step up. Damian Lowe. Yeah, first game, start off with Jamaica versus Guatemala. Jamaica is a very, very physical team. The Guatemala team is not that very physical. Set piece gonna be really key. Hope we can get our deliveries right. We have some tall players. Damian Lowe got height. Mikel Antonio got height. Kevin Lambert got height. We got Deshaun, he could jump. We got, Joel Latibeaudiere, he's like what 5'11", so He's like a defender, so he could spring in the air. But we're gonna have to play these guys really physical. They don't like to play physical football. The Guatemalan team like to play an open style of football game. They like to move the ball around in the middle. They keep possession. They play that little smart, acute triangle plays in the middle and then dish it wide and then trying to get ball into the box. Their main player in this team is Ruby or Rubin. This guy played for Salt Lake in the MLS. This is their own. This is like their only option they have, where as like aerial, where they could cross the ball and then just for a target. He's the vocal point that's gonna link up, trying to hold up the play. Trying to pull all the team together, let the team push up so, they can get bodies forward. But yeah, so Jamaica gonna have to be really ruthless. We're gonna have to the first three games we played, we didn't start the game properly. The US game, we didn't really start that game properly. The St. Kitts and the Trinidad game, we really started a little shaky. But this Guatemala team, they can punish you and they can punish you. But we're gonna have to be ruthless. We're gonna have to trying to kill this game in like 30 minutes of this game. Create a chance. Take out. That's a big thing. I'm kind of worrying about. The only thing I'm really worrying about is when we create a chance, will we score on the first attempt or the second attempt? We misses a few big chances in the group stage. We can't afford to do that in the knockout round. As you lose, you go home. I'll be really gutted to see this quarter. If this Guatemala team beat the Jamaica team, I would be really gutted. I would be so ashamed, of myself, of my country. But yeah, I think Jamaica got this one though. I really think we do. So we have really good individual talented players. Can just take the game at the scruff of the neck and try to win this. But I just want to see a real team game. I don't really want to see much direct ball, just pick the moment when we go direct. Cause as I said, the Guatemala defense, the two center off, they're not that big. They're not that comfortable on the ball. They're not that comfortable defending balls in the air. So, Mikel Antonio, he's up there, so he would know what to do with them. But this Guatemala team, their fans, they travel. They're gonna have 12 men in the stadium. This is what I know. So we're gonna have to try to shut them down as soon as possible. You see how the Guadeloupe team play. They trying to like how you see the Guadeloupe team when they score, they throw stuffs at them, and so I hope Jamaica learn their lesson from them. If they scored and stuff like that, you don't really need to run to the touchline to celebrate. Objects can throw at you, and you don't know what fans will throw at you. It might hit you and hurt, but yeah, I know. So Jamaica, come on, we got to get this one. Three more games, but one game at a time. I know the players can't really think like, okay, we have three more games. Each game is a knockout game. It's like a cup final. You win, you go through. You lose, you out. That's what at stake right now for the regular. So next game, Costa Rica versus Mexico. This Costa Rica team is not very like how it used to be maybe 6, 10 years ago. Not much quality. There's a mixed bunch of players, you know, experience and young players. There's no Keylor Navas in the squad. Joel Campbell is the man up front. Borges, he's trying to steer things in the midfield. They got Watson at the defense, trying to steer the troops. So these experienced players, they're trying to go into this game and rally the teams up, trying to pump the younger ones up. So, they maybe could get a result, hope they can get a result because the winner from this game will play Jamaica or Guatemala. So let's see what's going on in this game. But I think the Mexicans gonna have too much quality. When you can look at Alvarado, Pineda, Antuna, Carlos Rodriguez, players like that, Romo, you have Gallardo coming from that left back position. But football don't really play it on paper. When that whistle blow, start that first half, all the history and everything go through the window. Game's on. So Mexican have a lot of quality, but it's gonna be really tough for the Costa Ricans, to really get a result. They are not the favorites going into this game. Mexican are one of the favorite going into the tournament with the likes of US and Jamaica. But let's see how that one goes out. So the next one is Qatar versus Panama. You know, these two teams played a couple times lately. They played last year in November in a friendly where Qatar won 2-1, and they played in the last Gold Cup. They played in the group stage where that game was draw 3-3. In that group, the Qatar finished in first position and Honduras finished in second position in that group. The Panamanian team didn't make it through the group stage last Gold Cup, so they're hoping to get a result in this game and get a revenge. But this game is really kind of even. I think this game will play open. Both team will be going for it. Qatar team, they like to play explosive, quick, expand football. This one gonna be a joy to watch. So next game, US versus Canada. This Canadian team is not really all that. They played Martinique last night. That game finished 6-4. Before that game last night, I think they only scored like one or two goals in the group. So this Canadian team is not really like been known for scoring goals. They played a weak defense team. Martinique, they don't really have good defenders. So I see this game only going one way with this US team. They got likes of Ferreira, Roldan, players like that, Senora, Mihailovic, and players like Jordan Morris. I think they're gonna win easily in this game, but this is like a rival. The Canadian team is coming hot, but you never know. This is football, but that's the little reaction of what's going to take place on the weekend. The group stage has come to a close. Just want to say, thanks all the fans, who supporting the video, all the videos, and everyone that's smashing the like button, everyone that's comment, really appreciate it. When you click the like button and comment and do all of that and share the video, it go out there, more people get to see the work and stuff like that. But yeah, I really appreciate it though. Thank you. Peace out.